Hi there. Thank you for joining me for today's live reading of Jade, Hidden Scars by Akinosho, and this is presented by Itsy Bitsy Book Bits. Naseer. My heart pounds as I accelerate. I feel the thrill of the wind on my body. I dodge between passing cars, revving higher and higher. Brian, my best friend, is right on my tail, his curses ringing in my earpiece. Asshole, he shouts at me, but I laugh and push harder. Watch out! His voice crackles as a car appeared out of nowhere. His I don't panic. Instead, I move swiftly and get a glance at Brian. I got this, I yell to him in triumph, feeling great that I'm about to win his motorcycle. He shouldn't have dared me, but he can eat my dust. The sudden impact of the car jolts my body. Fuck! I scream out loud at the top of my lungs. I'm violently thrown off my bike, sailing through the air. As I hear Brian shout my name, my body slams against a car, which screeches to a loud stop. The force of the hard brake tosses my body into the air again like a ping pong ball, and I land on another vehicle's trunk. My body is out of control. I roll off the trunk, but my jacket is hooked onto a piece of metal, and I'm dragged across the asphalt. My blood is already pouring out before I register the pain of the metal piercing my skin. The car finally comes to a screeching halt. That releases the hook, and the car coming up from behind comes to a hard stop, trapping me under the hood. Naseer! 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 I hear Brian scream as I black out. I awake to hear voices. Someone keeps opening my eyelids each time I close it. I can't talk. We need to move him. We are losing him, a female voice says. I blacked out again. Hang in there, Naseer, I hear Brian again. I'm not sure how much time has passed. There are lots of sounds. My nose is covered. I feel a needle in my body. I want to move, but I can't. I want to talk, but I can't. What is going on? I fade off. I awake again and see my parents and Rowan, my bodyguard. My mom is crying as my dad tries to comfort her. Rowan's face is set with an expression of stoic determination that I can't comprehend. The smell of disinfectant invading my nostrils. I dislike hospitals. I need to get out of here. I silently willed myself to get out of bed only to realize I can't move. Flashes of my body flying in the air and body being dragged surges through me. The accident has rendered me immobile. He's going to be all right. Miraculously, he didn't sustain any organ damage or brain bleeding. He has multiple broken ribs, a broken shoulder, hands, and legs. The plaster cast will help with the broken shoulder, hands, and legs, and we will know more in the next few days about the movement of his legs and hand. Right now, we need to monitor him to make sure the broken ribs heal and his lungs don't collapse. My mom bursts into tears as I lose consciousness again. I'm numb. I can't talk. I can't move. Why didn't I die? Jade. The wheels of the plane screech loudly against the tarmac as it touches the ground, rumbling my whole being. I should be happy for the safe landing, so I sigh. But I'm numb. The last 2 months have been the worst in my 16 years of life. It all still feels unreal. I pinch myself, hoping I will wake up from this horrible dream, but nothing happens. I'm still on the plane. Everyone is cheering, but I'm staring out the window, not looking at anything. One dire moment was all it took to destroy my future. 8 weeks ago, I was a regular student at Atlantia International Prep Boarding School with my best friend, Tito. I can't remember what we were laughing about before my name was announced. Jedisola Benkel, Principal Bua wants you in her office right now. Tito and I had looked at each other strangely. We tried to think of what either one of us could have done to have warranted the call to Principal Bua's office. We tried, but came up empty. We couldn't have imagined the life-altering event because, as a teenager, we had no cares in the world other than having fun and passing all the exams given to us by teachers. Our parents are meant to always be there to provide everything we need. We didn't need to know how they did it. We just had to stay young, foolish, and happy. Now happiness seems far-fetched to me. Ladies and gentlemen, we have arrived in the kingdom of Renaz. Thank you for flying with Qatar Airways. The air hostess keeps talking as I tune her out. In the kingdom of Renaz, the plan was for us all to visit next summer, but I'm here alone, without my parents. The gentleman next to me is out of his seat and grabbing his laptop and other belongings, and I turn back to the window again, staring at nothing. I'll probably be the last to get off. Just like I was the last to arrive at Principal Bua's office that afternoon. Tito couldn't go with me, and I couldn't escape the call, so I took the slip and off to the administrative building. It was a long, solitary walk, as I tried to think again about what could have warranted my call to the principal's office. My steps slowed as I entered Principal Bua's office, and my muscles tightened. But I saw my aunt. A smile spread wide across my face as I rushed toward her. Auntie Laura! I hugged her tight. Usually I saw her every 2 years for a few weeks when we visited the U.S. Mom said next year we would visit her in the Kingdom of Renaz because she was now working as a teacher at the international school. A pleasant surprise, I'd thought. Auntie Laura was crying when I pulled out of the hug. What's wrong, Auntie? I asked, still surprised she was here. That was strange. Where's Mom? I asked. Without answering, she pulled me to the seat. Jade, I'm sorry. Your parents. Auntie wiped her eyes and drew in a large breath. Your parents died. In a fire, she said through sobs. With those 10 words, my world came crumbling down. I stared at Auntie Laura. She was probably wrong. Maybe she was playing a prank on me. Subconsciously, I knew she wouldn't prank me, not with the loss of my parents. That was too heavy, but I refused to accept her words. I spoke to Mom 3 days ago. My voice choked out. I'm sorry, Jade. They are both gone. I watched her move, but didn't understand a word she said to me. The tears she was fighting back weren't helping. I stared, lost for words. Both gone where? My brain was working in slow motion mode. I rose from the seat. I looked to Principal Bua for answers, but she had this pitiful look on her face. The forceful and daring woman couldn't look me in the eye. When she did, all I saw was sympathy. They died a few hours after your phone call. They are in heaven, dear. I'm so sorry, Jade. Then it sunk in that my parents were dead. Both of them? I asked, trembling in shock. I felt my body heavier than my legs can hold. My mind swirled. I let go. I whiffed Auntie Laura's smell before fading away. Miss, do you need help to get off the plane? The poised air hostess says to me with a wide grin, bringing me back to the present. No, I answer, getting up and grabbing my backpack. Everyone is long gone. I'm alone. I make my way towards customs. I still have my U.S. passport. Turns out my parents kept our passports in a safe deposit box in case of fire or theft. There was no box to protect them. Oh, I wish. I follow the herd. When I get to the officer and he scans my passport, he returns a mystified look at me and then pushes a button. I should ask questions, but I remain standing, just numb. Excuse me, Miss Binkle? I turn to the female officer speaking to me. Come with me, please. I follow with no response. She takes me into a room. Sit down, she says. I sit as instructed, without question. She clicks and clicks on the computer. She then stamps my passport with all kinds of documents and stickers. Welcome to the Kingdom of Renaz, and I hope you enjoy our international school. I'm also sorry for your loss. I blink at her wide eyes. How does she know I'm an orphan? Is the word spelled across my face in neon? Your guardian had to explain the reason for an expedited request for residency, she explains. Thank you, I say, but break down in tears. It's as if she'd smashed the glass of numbness, and I couldn't control the excruciating pain that flooded my veins. I couldn't control it in front of this stranger. I let it all out. She pulls me into a hug and lets me cry on her shoulder. I lose track of how long I spent crying. I'm sorry, I whisper. It's okay, dear. I can't begin to understand what you are going through, but do try and take each day as it comes. I nod and grab my bag. She walks with me until I see Auntie Laura and Uncle Ray. They are smiling. The officer stops and touches my shoulder. Best of luck, Miss Binkle. I'm positive Renaz will bring you smiles and joy. Thank you again, I say to her. You got this. Remember to smile. I nodded and raced to my new guardians. The ones willing to take the orphan teenager. After my parents' burial, all other family members came up with excuses for why they couldn't take me in. But Auntie Laura stood up for me, right in front of them. I have no plans to leave Jade with any of you. I already started working on her move to Renaz. She will stay with Mrs. Muyawa, her mother's best friend, till she comes to join me. You can all leave now. Quietly, they each got up and left. Good riddance, she had said, shutting the door after the last one left. Welcome to Renaz, Jade, both say, hugging me. We got my luggage, and I got in the car with them to my new home. I enjoyed watching the bright lights and beautiful buildings in Renaz, truly a beauty at night. They asked me about my flight. It was fine, I answered in a monotone as we drove. That's your new school, Auntie Laura pointed out. Don't worry, you rest the next few days and start on Monday. I nodded and continued to look out the window at the endless lines of palm trees with lots of high-rise complexes and large freeway. It all looked glitzy. It felt like we were driving up a hill towards the water. I could see the blue water as we kept moving towards it. Once we pulled up at the quaint house, Auntie Laura wouldn't let go of me. She hugs me. I will always be here for you, Jade, she says. I nod and pull from the hug. We step right into the living room, which is tastefully decorated with an L-shaped leather couch with 2 end tables, 4 aesthetic-styled pillows. A lamp is by the window, and the entertainment center is set up by the wall that divides the living room from the dining room and the kitchen. To the left is a door with a guest bathroom, and further down is another door, and behind that door are the 3 bedrooms. Auntie and Uncle's room comes with its own bathroom, and the other 2 bedrooms share a bathroom. I noticed a small walk-in closet in my room. The room was set up for me with a twin bed, a desk, and a carpet. We will go to IKEA to get some stuff for you to make it more you. A small garden and patio chairs are out in the back. You can see it all in the morning. Thank you, Auntie, I say, trying my best to show appreciation. We are happy to have you here, despite the situation, and we will not leave you. She pulls me into a hug. We got you, Jade Sola. Thank you, Auntie. I know I sound like a robot, but it's all I could think of to say. I'm grateful, but haunted by all the changes happening so quickly around me. I'll leave you to shower, change, then come and eat. I ordered some food from a restaurant. I think you'll like it. Uncle Ray brings my bags in just as Auntie Laura is leaving. He hugs me too. I take a moment to sit on the bed, staring at the green paint like it was going to speak to me. This is my room and a new life for the next year or 2. I said goodbye to Lagos and my friends. Tito and I cried at the airport. We both know it's unlikely that I will ever return to Lagos. We'd promised to stay in touch with each other, but I have no clue how life would be for me in the next few years. But I must get up daily and keep going, like I didn't just bury my parents. I don't have anyone in Lagos anymore, besides the Muyawa family that showered me with love and welcomed me into their home, no questions asked. While my father's siblings were busy coming up with excuses for why they couldn't take me into their home, Mrs. Muyawa stood up, saying she would take me, but Auntie Laura said I was coming with her. They had planned together on how to make life better for me. I will forever be thankful to Mrs. Muyawa and her family, who stood by me in the worst moment of my life. Mrs. Muyawa, who wasn't related to me, did more than said related family members who fought over my parents' last possessions like hungry lions. I agree with Auntie Laura's good riddance.